Do you ever feel stuck in the rat race? Life doesn't have to be that way if you're willing to put in the work. In Bigger Vision, Chris Garrison helps you discover the keys to abundance, freedom, and personal growth that let you live the life of your dreams. And now, here's your host, Chris Garrison.
Welcome, everybody. You've made it to the Bigger Vision podcast. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. I hope your day's been fantastic and that you are beginning to grow your financial legacy, because that is where we really find the most stress in this world, is because of financial stress. That's the reason we have seen so many divorces and relationships and partnerships break apart. That's why people feel like they should end their lives, because they are depressed, because they measure themselves up against money and the lack of, and they compare themselves to other people in that aspect. And it really is sad. And that is why this podcast is available. That is why I put this content out, because I truly believe that as you increase your mindset and you believe in yourself and build confidence by taking responsibility for everything in your life, that is where it starts. Then at that point, you can grab control, because we can only change the things that we are in control of. So when you begin to accept responsibility for everything in your life, then you have full control over it, and you can start changing and moving the direction of your future. So with that being said, I am so happy that you guys have decided to take a little time out of your day and listen to what I have to say, because I feel like everybody in life is a salesperson, regardless of whether they identify as a salesperson or not. And that is because we always try to influence other people based off of what we feel like is best or better for us, really is the best way to say it. And so in that aspect, if we wanted to go somewhere to eat, then we might explain why, or that we wanted to just simply go there to eat. And if we are looking for if we're trying to date someone, then we're going to try to sell ourselves of why we should be the one that they go out to date. Or if we're trying to marry, the same thing. You get what I'm saying? Well, I feel like there's certain elements that sell anything. And people are very driven by these elements. And that is why these elements sell. And if you look across other branding and businesses that promote, just turn the TV on and watch advertisements and see what pain points that they hit on. And a lot of the pain points are, we can make your life look like this. This will enhance this. This will remove this unwanted this. This is only around for so long, and make a decision now. So there's this sense of urgency that they sell as well. So I've got a little compiled list of things that I feel like you should be aware of, because all of these things are almost always integrated into anything that's trying to be marketed. And I think it will help you in your business. I think it'll help you as a person inside of a business if you're just a team member and not the owner. And I think this will also help you just in general in life, because if you will focus on these aspects, then you will begin to make decisions based off of how you can service someone else's life, because really that's what all of these are about. And the first one starts with lifestyle. This is an easily seen aspect of anything that's being sold. I mean, even to the point of antidepressants, they sit there and sell these about how your life will be better, how you're not going to be depressed anymore. This is how your Prada, your Gucci, all of the handbags, the clothing, this is even down to the products you wear in your hair, to the car that you drive, to the venues that you go to eat at. All of this is about how it's going to enhance your lifestyle, down to the way that you even have someone come and mow your grass. I mean, when you've got the hatch marks in your grass, you typically see those hatch marks in higher end homes. Well, when you see those hatch marks, that's an identifier that's a higher end home, which means there must be someone that makes higher end money that lives there. It's all psychological. And that is why lifestyle is one of the biggest, and in my opinion, the number one selling element of anything. If it is going to enhance your lifestyle, it is a much easier sell than anything else. Then the other side, another point is unique ability. Like, why is it unique? Can I just go anywhere and get this? What makes this different than the other piece? And this is where you see like the pizza places. They sit there and they talk about how they're fresh vegetables, fresh crust made daily. All of this is what's making them unique compared to the rest of the pizza shops out there. So the question is what makes you unique? Let's say that you don't have a company and it's just you, and you show up at work and you clock in on your W-2. What makes you unique compared to the other person? Because what we're talking about here is job security. If you're able to bring an element that's going to allow you to establish unique ability, then you're much harder to replace. And this is an extremely important fact to understand, because when you understand this, you will sell this about yourself to others as well. So how are you enhancing someone's lifestyle? And then what is the unique ability about you, your product, your service, yourself, whatever we might be talking about, however you're receiving this in whatever position that you're at in life right now. Then the quality. What is the quality of what you're bringing? Is this something that's only going to last for a moment? You know, we talk about me and some of my peers at these meetups when I go for these entrepreneurial masterminds, and we talk about the quality of team members and how it's hard to just find those really qualified people. They're definitely already at a workplace doing fantastic. So we have to just try to find those individuals that have a little bit of unsatisfaction so that we can come in, identify that unsatisfaction, and then offer the solution to allow them to be more satisfied with us than what they currently are at that job that they have. And I think quality can be interpreted in many different ways. So, you know, as a team member in that analogy, you know, do they show up? Do they bring their A game every single day? Do they go above and beyond? Or are they not dependable? You know, the quality of someone in what they bring in work ethic, the quality of a service. Are they going to halfway do it and leave the corners undone? Or are they going to do it all the way to where you don't have to check behind them because you know it's done correctly? What about the quality of a product? Is it something that I'm going to have to replace a couple of months from now and keep spending that money over and over again? Or is it something that's going to last me lifetimes, generations? My mom has got furniture from back when I was a kid, where she got it from her dad, and her dad had got it from her grandfather. And I mean, this is solid quality made furniture. Yes, it was taken care of through the years because they were very particular about their contents and what they spent their money on. They believed, hey, if I'm going to spend my money on it, I'm going to do everything to take care of it and make it last as long as possible, which is something that's very admirable. We just don't see that as often because we're such a consumer society at this point. And most things really just don't bring a lot of quality. It's made to break so that we can keep spending as a consumer and keep rotating that money in the marketplace. So lifestyle, unique ability, the quality of what you're bringing to the table. And is there a demand for it? And if there's not a demand for it, it may be the fact that you're just not in the right market. So make sure you're in a market where there is a demand for something. Why would you sell sailboats in, I don't know, Arizona when it's not next to the beach or a lake? Why would you sit here and put a retirement community in a very young city? If the population is 20 to 30, then why would you be sitting here putting a retirement community that's set up for 60 plus? So there's just a matter of demand that you have to think about. So without the demand, there's not going to be that element of sale. But with demand, then you're going to have a great element of sale. So if you're bringing a TV to a sports fan that's a big screen, 4K, or whatever they've got out at this point, there's going to be a massive demand there because they want to be able to see their team in high definition and be able to catch it all. So then we move on over into scarcity. How many of these are available? Is this something that is going to be hard to find? Is this something that is going to allow them to have a brag because now they can be the only one with the Rolls Royce in town, or the only one with the Gucci bag, or the only one that took the Mediterranean cruise vacation? What is the scarcity of this? Can everybody get their hands on it? This is also going to play into the price with the scarcity thing. It's that supply and demand. When it's got scarcity on it, there's going to be a higher demand, which includes a higher price. But when it's not scarce, then it's not as desirable and it's going to be more difficult to sell. So you're enhancing someone's lifestyle. It's a unique product, service, or your unique ability that you're bringing to the table. It's quality. They can depend on it. There's a demand for it. They need it. It's also maybe hard to find, or it's just not plentiful. So there is a desire to have it. There's not this sense of, well, I can go get it whenever. And then communication I stuck down here because I feel like in sales, it's very important to set an expectation through communication. And this is where I feel like most people really break down in a sales process or even in a operations service delivery. Because if you can't communicate an expectation, if you don't set the expectation right because you didn't communicate enough or effectively, then you're going to have a disgruntled ending. You're going to have someone that's disappointed. I've had this in relationships before with family members and whatnot, to where they would set my expectation and I would think things were going to turn out one way. But as we began to go down the path that we decided to take, all of a sudden things just didn't shake out the way that I expected them to shake out. And then I was disappointed about the ending. And that is not what you want, because you want reoccurring sales. I don't care if this is not a business where you're taking it. Let's say that you are the employee that's showing up at a job, or you are the person that's trying to win this date, or you're just trying to get your way for food. If you don't communicate it effectively, they're not going to come back and be a repetitive buyer. That's what it boils down to be. Because they're leaving with a disappointed taste in their mouth. And when there's disappointment, it's going to stick with them in memory. But if you can leave them with a satisfied taste, then the expectation of what they're going to expect, and it's delivered, then at that point you've communicated effectively. So that's why I've put this in as an element of sales. So again, you're enhancing the lifestyle. You're bringing something unique. It's got quality that be able to be dependent upon it. There is a demand for it. It's not plentiful, so it's got some scarcity to it. And then they have been communicated what to expect out of it. And then the last point I said was affordability. Now, I'm not talking about the coupon shopper when I say affordability. I'm talking about the simple fact that someone can actually afford it. I went to a conference several weeks ago, and at the end of the conference, they offered this inner circle membership only group. And they were going to get more hand holding. They got some special software that was going to help them do their searches that they were trying to search. And it was just, it was a higher level of uniqueness, of quality, of demand, of communication. And it was going to enhance their lifestyle because it's going to help speed up the process for them. And it was $60,000 for your membership on this. Now, most of you are going to say, damn, that's not affordable. And my first thought was the exact same thing. I mean, that's a pretty fat ticket. Now, if you look at it at what it's going to reproduce for them, then it's a very, very small entry fee to be able to get into the money that it's going to allow them to make in the future. I mean, you're talking about someone could make a slam dunk on $1 million net company, and they paid $60,000 to learn how to find and secure that company. But what they did do after they gave the first ask is they came back and said, we have a service plan. So what did they do? They made it affordable. The service plan just by itself made this massive ticket price item affordable. And that's why I put affordability on it, because you can price yourself out of a market. So the question is how? And the next question is who? Or maybe the first question should be who to find out the how. Because no matter what the obstacle is or the objection, there is always a workaround. The problem is we don't get resourceful enough because we don't desire it enough and we don't feel like it's life or death enough to make sure that we find the workaround. So we just give up too quickly. But the fact that I watched that, it set new perspective on the way that I was able to see big price items. Because when you could break it down into a payment plan, people focus on what they have to come up with right now, not what the end cost is going to be. I used to sell cars and people didn't care about the total price majority of the time. It was, can I afford this monthly payment? And what is the highest monthly payment and the nicest vehicle that I can get that I can afford a payment on? So lifestyle, unique, quality, demand, scarcity, communication, so that you set the expectations, and it's affordability. If you have these elements in anything in life, you are going to be able to sell it because you are touching the pain points of every human being on earth. We all want a better lifestyle. That is what we fight for. That is what we hunger for. Now, a lot of times we'll retrain our mind to think that we don't want it, and that's our excuse to not fight for it and to make us feel better about settling. But we all desire a better lifestyle. Lifestyles look differently according to what your make and model is, but that we all care about it. We all want to be unique. We all want to have what's unique because it makes us feel special. We all want quality because quality is what matters. When it doesn't have quality, we get disappointed. And we all want to make sure that there is a demand on it. Otherwise, why are we going to go through the efforts of spending our time and effort in getting something if there's not even a demand? And we want to know that there is some scarcity because, again, it makes us feel like we are special because we got something that not everyone has. We also like to be communicated because we need to understand what we can expect. We need to understand what this looks like, what it looks like, what it's going to taste like, what it's going to smell like, how it's going to make us feel, and how it's going to, almost most importantly, let others think about us and how we feel. Whether you want to admit it or not, we do care about what others think about us. And then, can we actually afford it? Because if all of these elements are in there, we really, really want it. So how can we achieve the affordability of this? Now, build these elements into whatever you're trying to sell, and this will help you supercharge your financial path to freedom. Until next time, let's live in success. Snap the 5 stars on the platform that you're listening to this on. Write me a review underneath it so that it will help boost me up the algorithm. If you found anything that you enjoyed out of this, then please mention that. If you want to hear something different, if you think I need to step my game up and talk about something different, then let me know what you want to hear about, and then I'll make sure that I try to bring that to the table. If I can help you in any way when it comes to business acquisitions, operations, and scaling and startup, hop on Blue Collar Millionaire. You can find us on that Facebook group. If you want to just hear more about mindset, business, and investing in general, you can hop on the Bigger Vision Facebook group. There's a great community there. And then we do 2 in-person meetups, the second Thursday at lunch and the third Thursday after hours here in Tupelo, Mississippi. And this is where we can just really get to know each other on a better basis. We got a decent crowd that shows up. And it's anything from business owners to real estate investors to people that have retired that have money, to people that have high-paying jobs that have money, to W-2 employees that want to learn how to start investing, and to W-2 employees that just want to become self-employed. So it's a really nice mix that you'll get to get involved with. So until next time, let's grow together.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.